Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 4 video. Today I want to show you the Poison Trap Rogue making use of the new Bands of Ichorous rolls. So if you want to know if this is a good unique, if Poison Trap actually is viable now, then stay tuned. So going into the abilities, first we got anything into basic because we don't need it. We got Sturdy for close damage reduction, we got Siphoning Strikes for some return on health against close enemies, and then we got Unstable Elixirs. We don't really need Trick Attacks or Weapon Mastery because we are using Poison Trap, which means that we are relying on damage over time, so we don't need the crit chance or critical strike damage, and also our weapons will not be used as such. Actually want to go with Ballestra as well. I just have to find 3 points. We are using dash right now. I have a little bit of a different variant where I'm not using dash at all, but dash is nice to move around quickly, of course. And I got the Dark Shroud with some enhanced Dark Shroud to get more movement speed, as well as Concealment with enhanced and countering Concealment. We don't really need Subverting Concealment because again we're not critically striking and Vulnerable comes from a different source. I got Smoke Grenade for enhanced Smoke Grenade, which gives us more damage, and then a little bit of poison damage here. It's not really relevant, but sometimes it's nice to proc our boss power, which I will explain in a minute. Then we got our Malice right here, dealing more damage to vulnerable and knockdown enemies, which is pretty nice because Poison Trap also knocks down our enemies. And of course, Exploit, Poison Trap fully maxed out, and then all these beautiful passives, of course, maxed out because we're using poison. And then Frigid Finesse, as always, because somehow we're gonna chill and maybe even freeze our enemies and we want to do more damage to them. Then we got Impetus. It's kind of nice. Sometimes it will give us a little bit of a bonus. Then Aftermath. This is pretty important for our rotation, which I will explain when we come to the boss powers. Alchemist's Fortune, and then Shadow Clone. Actually, we're not using Death Trap. So if you're looking for something with Death Trap, then you came to the right place actually, but it's a different video. We're using Shadow Clone with Prime and Supreme, and you notice Prime also gives us Stealth, which is pretty neat. And also Second Wind and some Haste right here, and then we're using Close Quarters Combat. Right now we almost have 200% damage increase, so you see this still has some kind of a scaling to it. We can still go to up to 300%, we just need better gear. Moving on to the Paragon. The Paragon is having Turf. It also gives us close damage, which is very nice. As I just explained, it will boost our key passive. And then we have Cheap Shot right here together with Versatility, giving our non-basic and non-core skills increased damage. Poison Trap is a non-basic and non-core skill, even though our Scoundrel's Leathers will give it a core skill tag. This is supposed to still work. Then we got Dance Macabre. After casting Mobility or Subterfuge skill, we increase the damage of the next skill. And since we will be spamming Poison Traps, this will be always in effect. Then we also got Bane, just, more poison damage, of course. Then we got the No Witness board. Actually, the current bonus is only for 35%, I just realized. I kind of have to fix this. We have Snare here, and I think I thought I had Devious. So we slot in Versatility here, actually. So we get the bonus to ultimate damage, and then, yeah, fixed it. Good that we talked about this. And we got Nair just around here. And then we need Intelligence. Again, I need to go over this. I have a build guide description below, and I'm still toying around with this, but I've seen plenty of posts, or not plenty, but several posts on the D4 Rogue subreddit asking for Band of Ichorous Rose builds, and I've been working on this build for ever since pre-season, trying to make it better and better, and now that I can finally play it after playing Death Trap and getting like gear and farming, I'm playing this and I'm refining it. Anyways, for the last board, exploit weakness with Ambush Glyph. Makes sense? Alright, now we go to the bread and butter, we go to the gear. Alright, now this is the no mythic variant. I'm not wearing any mythics. Ideally I would wear actually what's it called? The one that gives 60x damage. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Arrow of Perdition, exactly. But Harlequin's Crest is also very nice because it gives a bunch of cooldown reduction, also max resource, which will help us with our boss powers. Anyways, this non-mythic variant, you can see it's not even masterworked. Ideally, it's not even fully there. But we got just some helmet with some dex, res all, cooldown reduction, total armor, and the lucky hit days. We're actually lacking quite a bit of armor right now, which makes me a bit worried, but we will see how it goes. Of course, the Harlequin Crest would give us like 600 armor. That would solve our issue. Then, Scrounded Shredder, very important. Trap skills are now considered core skills. Then a bunch of good stats all around trap skills. And then also our trap skills can now be thrown. Also spawn the death trap every 10 seconds, which is kind of nice because it pulls in a little bit. Not a lot, but we also get a damage bonus. And then we got the Neo Q rune word right here, Graceful Fortress. If we avoid health damage while fighting for 2 seconds, we invoke Druid's Earth Bulwark and get a barrier. So I'm right now running. I'm actually still looking for a Vex rune. So ideally you would run Seer Vex to have that up all the time, and then also Tam. I'm also lacking a Tam rune. But yeah, I would run this with Quax rune probably. Then Bands of the Ichorous Rose. So this is what it's all about. It adds 4 maximum poison traps to our arsenal, so we can have 8 instead of only 4. Then it gets attack speed, which helps with laying down the traps. Maximum poison resistance, okay, nice. Poison resistance, okay, not bad. Don't really need that. But then the chance for poison trap to cast twice, so we are faster in laying down our 8 traps. And then Poison Trap always deals its full damage over 3 seconds, and it benefits from all of its upgrades, which are increased by 87.5%. Poison Trap also benefits from combo points, has no cooldown during units inner sight, and cooldown is reduced by preparation. Incidentally, we are using preparation for this one. I do have a variant also in the build guide, which is revolving around inner sight. It didn't work as well as I hoped to, because my build guide was like pre-season theory craft, so that's like on hold for now. It's still kind of cool to have no cooldown and just spam Poison Trap all the time, but more to that maybe in another video. Right now we are focusing on the cooldowns reduced by preparation, or rather we're using preparation with it. Then also this very, very important thing here is Poison Trap always deals its full damage over 3 seconds. As you can see here, poisoning damage over 3 seconds, it actually is 1.7 million. If we remove this, we have poison damage over 29 seconds, but the same damage, which is way worse because it takes a long time. But now we can burst with 3-second time. So if you divide this by 3, it's like almost 600,000 damage per second, just like from the base Poison Trap alone, and then all the multipliers will add on top of that. So very, very nice. The Tibbles will, because we are using Shadow Clone giving us Unstoppable, and also Concealment giving us Unstoppable, is actually always up 20x increased damage. And we can also get some damage reduction while we're Unstoppable, so this is pretty nice. Then we get the Mirrored Sharpshooter's boots. This is very important because we need to have some kind of marksman skill to trigger our close quarters combat. Remember, we need to cast a marksman skill and a cutthroat skill every 8 seconds. Dash is the cutthroat skill, or Shadow Clone is the cutthroat skill. So we actually don't need to use dash. Just keep that in mind. If you want to like run a variant without it, it's possible, because we are using Shadow Clone every like 8 seconds or something, and then Cult drops. But I will get to the rotation in a minute. So then just, some resistance to elements, some movement speed, dexterity, lucky hit chance, and that's about it. Caltrops also applies the vulnerable to the enemies, which is very, very nice. And it also chills them, because we skilled into that for Caltrops to chill. Then we have our crossbow right here, having dexterity damage over time, also lucky hit to replenish our resource. I'm not quite sure yet if I really need it. It doesn't seem to proc that often. If I don't want it, I'm just gonna go with max life, because I'm actually a little bit low on life. And then we have damage to close enemies, and then the real kicker here, actually a very, very low roll, but Poison Trap duration. And this is why Poison Trap does like almost 2 million damage. Because Poison Trap duration will make the Poison Trap duration longer, which is translated into more damage, usually more damage over time, over more time. But since these gloves give a 3-second duration, or like limit it to 3-second duration, it will be condensed into the 3-second window. So this will boost your damage tremendously. I don't know if I can show it right here. Well, I guess if I unequip this, but you know, maybe I can equip something else just real quick, something similar. Maybe this one. So if we equip this, it's like 1.1 million damage. And then if we equip the one with the poison trap duration, but I'll show you. It's at like 20 seconds. And if I equip this one, it's like 29 seconds. So these 9 seconds get like condensed into the 3-second window, giving us a juicy 600,000 more damage. Almost alone from poison trap duration. I mean, I have way more dexterity on this one. I have like, I think the damage over time will not influence it, but I have way more dexterity. But you know, you get the picture. So that's what I found out, and that's why Poison Trap is really good in this season. And also we got Creeping Death, giving us a lot of more increased damage over time. And then I have the Seer Rune actually here. And then right now I'm using Sec, because I don't have enough cooldown reduction without Harlequin's Crest. So if you, ideally we need like maybe a 10 to 12 second cooldown on Shadow Clone. Now we have like 15.8. And I will get to that in the gameplay rotation. So I got this one. I haven't even tested it out, but I think it will work. We will see in a second. Then here I got some random amulet. It's not great. Ideally you want Deadly Venom on it, and then Dexterity of course, maybe Attack Speed or like Frigid Finesse as well. But it's really hard to find these amulets with these great passives. And then Damage to Close Enemies. It's actually, for the rest of the gear, it's always Damage to Close Enemies and Shadow Clone Reduction or Poison Trap Duration as the tempers. And then I just saw that this amulet has the wrong... Wait. Oh. Good that we talk about this. It has the wrong aspect actually. So we want this a new aspect. So that's what happens if you like still like in the, you know, toying around thing, testing things out phase. But we want the contamination aspect, which gives us the chance to, or rather, Poison Trap will always burst, and if that burst critically strikes, then we get 60 or almost 60% increased poison damage for 5 seconds. And you will wonder, like, critical strike? Why critical strike now? Well, we have like a critical strike chance of measly 16%, but since we are using 8 death traps, it should always trigger at least once during our rotation. Then don't get confused by these 3 greater affix rings. It's nice, but it will not like make or break the build. You don't need that. Actually, the damage affix here is not great. I would rather have like maybe all res or maybe attack speed on it. But dexterity and damage over time will be the ones that boost your damage. And then again, damage to closed and Shadow Clone cooldown reduction. Lastly, the daggers, of course, because they give damage to close enemies, and then you're also looking at dexterity, max life, damage over time, and then again, tempering damage to close and poison trap duration, boosting our damage even further. Mercenaries, I got Subo, because Subo can give me 30x increased damage over time for 3 seconds if he throws his Molotov, and then again with Snipe, hitting the target he originally aimed at, a Molotov explodes on them, so I get this buff again, not like twice, but no, this one has a cooldown. So, and lastly, we got our boss pause, which we use Shavas for. You can see it's a huge damage, like 5.5 million over 4 seconds, and then it applies 10% more poisoning for each 1% of the target's current life affected by damage over time. But this will like scale very, very well. The more damage over time you stack. I'm using Andarius, just giving it 20x more damage over time. Cinerate's giving us a 25x to our elements damage, which poison is, hopefully. And then Avarice, lastly. Mainly to use for preparation and to reset. And if I will ever find a Tam rune or something reliable to proc my Quax rune, then I will probably change this to maybe Belial's Crystal Decoy, because Belial's Crystal Decoy makes it so that it will fear nearby enemies, and I activate my main boss power. This is good because it will add another CC to Creeping Death. This is a 40x multiplier. So, whew, we did it. Only take us 15 minutes. Oh my goodness. Well, you have to explain a lot if it's a new build. And we now come to the how to play part. So, it's best to show you, but just a quick words. Rotation is also in the build guide. But what you want to do is, of course, keep Dark Shroud up. Right now we are using the Umbrus right here, so it will just come up naturally with critical strength, so not that much we need to see. Again, I want to use a Harlequin's Crest, and then I would put actually the concealment, sorry, the Dark Shroud on my bar. Probably get rid of Dash or Smoke Grenade. What you want to do is like use Dash, for example, or I will use Shadow Clone for the Cutthroat also. Then Concealment, spam Poison Traps, and then use Caltrops, which will break me out of my stealth. Actually, I haven't even talked about these aspects. Well, sorry. We have the Conceited here because it gives us more damage, and right now we are getting like the Earthen Bulwark. We get a barrier as well as a barrier for using our energy with Second Wind. But more importantly is the Infiltrators, and this is part of the gameplay loop. Sorry, I just skipped over it because I was like talking about the stats, but you can see it here. So the Infiltrator makes it so that Poison Trap no longer breaks stealth and triggers no cooldown or arm time while I am in stealth, so giving us the opportunity to spam Poison Trap during stealth. All Poison Traps then activate when I exit stealth, and the cooldown will be 4.8 seconds per trap placed, but so a huge cooldown after. But we will reset the cooldown with Preparation. So the rotation is Shadow Clone, Concealment, Poison Trap, and then we break out of the stealth with Caltrops, giving us the close quarters combat key passive because we cast a Cutthroat skill, we cast a Marksman skill, and then also giving Vulnerable, giving Chill, and yeah, and then we repeat because due to Ashava activating Avarice using the energy that we have, it will at least give a 10 seconds reduction in our Shadow Clone. And then our lethargic power overwhelming, that's a great rune word, will give us another 3 seconds, and this whole process takes like a few seconds, so probably will reset. We will see. Again, if we use the Harlequin's Crest, we have like this 10.5 seconds cooldown. We don't need that rune word anymore because we can just, you know. So yeah, that's it. Let's see how it plays. Let's do tier 60. Tier 60 means we are like 5 tiers ahead of Torment 4. This is a Torment 4 build. It can also scale a bit higher. I actually cleared tier 70 with it. And one last thing, I'm actually using Incenses and Elixirs. Incenses, which give me armor, all-res, and dexterity, and then also the Elixir, which gives me 20 more max resource to help me with my preparation cycle. All right. Finally, some gameplay. Finally. This is live, so I need to think a moment. Okay. So, let's cast this, and then ching, 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 ching. Then you repeat. So, Shadow Clone, Concealment, and then we spam Poison Traps. I mean, right now there's where's the monsters? Shadow Clone, Concealment, Poison Traps, then we have 8, and then Caltrops. Right? So you might wonder, if you paid attention, why am I using Concealment if Shadow Clone gives me stealth, right? Well, it's a good question. And I was actually not using Concealment for a while. And then I was always wondering, wait, why am I always breaking out of stealth for no reason? Actually, my resistance and my armor sucks, that's why I'm getting so much damage. Why am I always breaking out of stealth for no reason? And the thing is that the stealth from Shadow Clone is only stealth, and it will break if you get any damage from anything lying on the floor or from, like, I don't know, anything lying around. And that kind of sucks, because then if you lose stealth, your poison trap, your rotation will stop like in the middle of it. I really need, I don't know, I need more armor and resistances. So that's why I'm using concealment, because concealment gives you stuff that cannot be broken by damage. But yeah, I'm kind of botching my rotation right now. So it takes a while to get used to, and I'm still not really used to it. I still should like use dash in between, you know. If you do the second rotation, you just break out with smoke grenade to deal more damage. Right now I just misclicked. Oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. So, okay. Shadow clone, concealment, spam poison traps, and then caltrops. Alright. I wonder if I can just leave after one rotation. Let's see if they, yeah, they just die actually. So let's do this again. Hey, I misclicked again. Wait. Okay, spam it. Boom. Gotcha. So I think what you wanna do is you wanna dash and find the, you know, the groups of monsters like here, and then do your rotation. Yeah, I'm a bit confused because before I had smoke grenade on RB where dash is now. Anyways, it's a professional video right here. Well, if you are still here, I hope you get a picture of how this build works. And right now, I know this is not a great pit time and everything, blah blah blah, but that's not the point, right? The point is to show that this works. Yes, it's not a death trap overpower build, but most builds are not. I mean, the point is here it works, and they can just tweak the numbers and make this a great build, like a, you know, top build. And then the boss, you know, same thing. It does like so much damage. I think this is one of my longest videos and one of my worst in terms of execution. But if you're still with me, I appreciate the likes and subscribe. I will update this. I will look for more or better ways to execute it. I just saw that a lot of people were asking about this unique, and I saw people answering, oh, it's horrible, it's the worst, and it doesn't do anything and whatever. No, that's not true. I don't know if they don't see that poison trap duration is like the bomb. It's like the affix to have here as a tempering, giving you a huge damage. But, you know, a lot of things pale in comparison to Death Trap. I also enjoy Death Trap, and it's of course way quicker. But this is a fresh take. Fresh breath of air after playing a lot of Death Trap. Anyways, I will leave you at this, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe for more videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Good luck and fun, and goodbye.